You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Well, temps reached the low 90s in Lexington today. It's cooling off now, but now rain could be an issue. Chris Creighton, 56 years old, his 12th season at Eastern Michigan. 6 bowl appearances in the last 10 years. His team has lost 7 in a row going back to last season. This is going to be a tough place to have that losing streak come to an end. There is Javen Norman, a redshirt freshman return man, standing at the goal line as Aiden LaRosse has it on the tee for Kentucky. A senior from South Africa. Hand over end kick, and we're underway from Lexington. And the Eagles are going to start this ball game at the 25-yard line. Last week, Eastern Michigan suffered an embarrassing loss of their own to FCS Long Island in their home opener. It was deflating, and they're hoping to play better here tonight. Noah Kim is 23 years old. He's in his 6th year of college football. Spent last year Coastal Carolina, but before that, 4 years at Michigan State. And he had 5 starts there for the Spartans.
He's played really well this year. No turnovers, that's the biggest thing. Elusive, big play threat as a runner. They want to get him on the edge this game.
And he's going to start with 5 wide receivers. Dante McMillan in the backfield. They're going to throw on first down. It's tipped up in the air, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 35-yard line. Good return. Davron Rayner brings it back. First play of the game, interception, and a 25-yard return as Terion Nichols, the cornerback, tipped it in the air, and Rayner intercepted it.
What a play by Nichols. This is exactly what the coaches told us this week. They want to be more aggressive on the outside. They let up too many routes on hitch routes, which are stop routes on the outside. He's driving the ball, and then Rayner is there for a play. You could not ask for a better start.
4th interception for this Kentucky defense already this year, and you no more than said it. For Eastern Michigan to have any success here tonight, they can't turn it over, and on the first play, Noah Kim has his pass deflected. And now here's Cutter Boley with great field position for his first start of the year. And Seth McGowan, a big pickup out of the portal, getting the first carry tonight.
It's exactly what Kentucky wanted to do. They wanted to start fast on defense, get the takeaway on the very first play, and then rely on their 1-2 punch at running back, McGowan and Dowdle, to get the ball into the end zone and really settle the nerves of new quarterback Cutter Boley.
2 transfer running backs, the only running backs Kentucky has used so far this season. They're going to hand it off again to McGowan, trying to shed a tackle, lunges, and gets in the end zone. How about that effort by Seth McGowan? Tyrell Martin, the defensive tackle, was trying to pull him down before he could get into the end zone, but McGowan was having none of it.
It looks like he kept his knees up. Powerful runner. I was down there on the sideline in pregame. He's got thighs like Saquon Barkley, and he does stay up. That's a touchdown. Exactly what you want to start the game. A takeaway 2 plays later. Run to Seth McGowan. 6-0 Kentucky.
Transfer from New Mexico State, his 4th rushing touchdown of the year. Had 2 last week against Ole Miss, and the extra point for Jacob Conway is good. 2 plays, 10 yards, 39 seconds, and the defense gets a takeaway to set it up.
Terry Nichols driving on it, and Rayner in the right spot at the right time. That's what we call a tip drill. Clay, tip it up in the air, tips and overthrows, got to have those, and here's the touchdown. Really strong run by McGowan. Says, get off me, let me get into the end zone. Says, you're too small, and then does a little dance. I don't know what the dance is, but he does it.
Well, the run game so far has been a strength for Kentucky. 172 yards last week, almost 400 yards through the first 2 games. And they're going to lean on that quite a bit tonight, you would think, especially with Cutter Boley in his starting debut here tonight.
It's their identity of their offense. They really want to run the football. They're only averaging 332 yards a game. That's the 2nd fewest yards per game in the SEC. Plus, they're breaking in a new quarterback. Hasn't started a lot. This will get the nerves settled down for Cutter Boley.
First turnover of the year for Eastern Michigan. And it immediately puts them behind 7-0. And another kickoff here for Aiden LaRosse. And the same result, sails through the end zone. It's another touchback. So take two for Noah Kim and this offense as he comes back out. But how about Brad White's defense? 7th season as defensive coordinator. Lost 7 starters from last year. They've given up a lot of big plays the first couple of weeks, but they have really started well. No points allowed in the first quarter. And how about this start tonight for that unit?
4 interceptions in 9 quarters of play. That's pretty good. That's top 5 in the FBS. The biggest thing for them, they've started fast in all their games this year. No points allowed in the first quarter.
The former shot a clear out of a shotgun. Little end around here and a good run on first down, and that's going to be key for Eastern Michigan here tonight as Dante McMillan gets across the 30 to the 32. Run it well, especially on first down.
Yeah, they want to stay ahead of the chains here versus this Kentucky defense who thrives off of turnovers. Going fast right here, looking to the sideline, trying to get in the best play.
Tavier Dunlap, the former Michigan Wolverine, joining McMillan in the backfield.
To a different play here.
Second down and 3. They fake the handoff, pitch it out. This is Dunlap. Gets to the edge and gets a good run, picks up enough to get the first down and then some out to the 40. That's a gain of 9 for Tavier Dunlap.
This is exactly where Kentucky struggles with open side runs. They're going to do a little read option with the quarterback. He option pitches it off the nickel, number 12. Staying ahead of the chains, really good start here. They've settled in. Noah Kim, you saw changing the play because of what he saw defensively from the Wildcats.
Went back to basics this week, did the Eagles, just on a blocking and tackling in practice. Big hole up the middle. Good run for Dante McMillan. And he spins into plus territory inside the 45 down to the 43. Davern Rayner, the middle linebacker who had the interception, made the stop.
McMillan's going to go right through the A-gap. It's just inside zone. A lot of teams this year have not tested Kentucky in their internal 2 or 3 defensive tackles. Seeing here early, they want to.
On first down, Kim looks right now. Rolls out to the near side, and it's complete. Caught at the 30-yard line by Terry Lockett Jr., their top receiver. That's his 14th catch already this season. He's a go-to guy for them.
He's their best receiver. A little pump to the right, roll out to the left. That's really hard to do as a right-handed quarterback, but he throws it perfectly on rhythm and in time. And this is what they're doing right now. They're going up-tempo to get to the line of scrimmage. They're trying to see what Kentucky's defense is doing and then get to the right play.
First down, another throw, some pressure, and this is thrown away by Kim. You know, the pressure on the quarterback last week for Kentucky, Chase, was pretty good, even though they didn't have any sacks to show for it. Brad White said we had enough pressure to be satisfied.
Yeah, we were talking to the coaches. They were upset with the sack numbers, but the most important numbers are pressure. Can you affect the quarterback in the pocket? Can you get the ball to come out a little bit sooner than the quarterback wants?
On second down and 10, Kim looking to throw. Straight back. Now he's rolling again. Throws off his back foot, and again, nobody home. Porter Rooks, the closest receiver, a super senior down there in the secondary, the transfer from NC State. So here comes the third down.
They're in field goal range right now. No sacks, no negative plays, obviously no turnovers. You can quiet this crowd down here now, at least if you get some points on the board after the start you had. Look for them to attack the middle of the football field. That's where Kentucky's pass defense has struggled. On the outside, they've been good. In the middle of the field is where the hay's made.
Again, Kim being chased. Has to get rid of it. Dumps it off short. It is caught, and it's short of the first down. Hauled in by Ben Prosper. The junior college transfer gets 8. Well, this is going to be 4th down, and we'll see what Chris Creighton decides to do here.
You're going to see Steven Souls Jr., number 35, right in the middle of your screen. He's going to get through there. He's their most productive pass rusher. Already has 2 sacks, and there we are. Kim got rid of the football, but you're able to get pressure on the quarterback and keep them off.
Rudy Kessinger, they're within his field goal range, but they're going for it on 4th down. Direct snap to Dunlap, and now whistles. And timeout called by Eastern Michigan.
Oh, they had a huge hole there.
They sure did.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, Eastern Michigan's going to talk about it after what looked like might have been a first down for Chris Creighton. It's starting to rain now in Lexington. Already 7-0 Kentucky after a takeaway and a quick touchdown by the Wildcats. Out of that timeout, 4th down and short for Eastern Michigan. They need 2 yards. Chris Creighton had a play drawn up. Looked like it was going to work, but timeout was called before they snapped the football.
Yeah, I mean, look, they kept it on the ground. They were in Wildcat with one of their running backs. They called a timeout. They didn't like what they saw. It looks like the exact same play right here.
And it is Dunlap, the running back. Got the direct snap, churning ahead. And I don't know, it's going to depend on the spot. It doesn't look like it. It looks like Kentucky has stood and stopped this drive.
Just an interesting decision to run the exact same play that they ran before the timeout. Kentucky was able to understand what they did. It's just a little jet sweep motion. You catch the ball in the backfield by Dunlap. He tries to get through. It's a lot of beef to get through right there. David Gusta right in the middle of that defense. And Scott with the tackle.
They needed to get that timeout earlier to not tip their hand before it was awarded to them.
I'm surprised they came back with the same play. I have no idea.
So now Cutter Boley and the offense going back to work from the 21-yard line. Kendrick Law on the speed sweep, the Alabama transfer. They're going to find creative ways to get the ball in the hands of Kendrick Law. They got him involved last week, 6 catches, 44 yards. After not having any touches in week 1, and Bush Hamdan, the offensive coordinator, he's going to figure out ways to involve him in the offense.
Yeah, Coach Hamdan told us that was our mistake. My bad is what he said, the exact words. No touches in the first week. A lot of touches last week. They have to get him 15 touches. He's their most explosive player.
That's his first reception of the night. And now they go back to the ground game, straight ahead. And behind that big blue wall, Kentucky gets it out to the 30 with Seth McGowan, a gain of 7. McGowan, the leading rusher against Ole Miss last week, 15 carries, 93 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Boy, they really like the Texas native. Already has a touchdown in this one.
He's their lead running back. He's physical. He's hungry. He's got good hands. Get him the football. 20 carries a game. He is their cowbell. He needs to touch the ball 20-plus times a game for them to be successful offensively.
And now Dowdell comes in a running back. But they're going to hand it off. And that's a first down. Dante Dowdell picks up 6, and they'll move the chains.
Yeah, Dowdell in a 3-point stance. He's used to playing halfback in a 2-point stance where he's stand up. He was down in a 3-point stance like a fullback, and this little fullback dive for a nice little conversion. Nice
Dowdell led the Cornhuskers with over 600 rushing yards, 12 touchdowns last year. He'll get it again. It's his 3rd FBS program. He was at Oregon to start his career, then went to Nebraska, now here in Lexington. You talk about a guy that's got a lot of stickers on his suitcase.
An offensive coordinator told us, hey, it's a really nice surprise for us. He's a powerful bruising runner. Bush Hamdan really likes him, really likes their 1-2 punch, really like running behind this offensive line, who's got 166 combined starts between the starting 5.
Second down and 9. Boley has attempted just 1 pass so far. Looking to throw here. Has time to do it. Going downfield, and it is hauled in. What a catch. Caught at the 40 by Josh Caddis, their big tight end. That's a gain of 23.
What a throw. We told you he wanted to throw the ball down the football field. Caddis right here is going to move up the football field. He's going to sneak out and just high points it. This is what Cutter Boley does. He gives opportunity footballs, meaning, hey, it's mine or no one else's at receiver. That's why receivers and tight ends love this kid.
Josh Caddis entered the night as their number 2 pass catcher. Didn't take him long to get involved. And now a penalty flag behind the run of Dowdell. Both of these teams have done a nice job this year eliminating
offense
penalties.
number 52. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
And a penalty on Jalen Farmer, the right guard. It's an experienced O-line for Kentucky. Includes 3 transfers. Both starting tackles are transfers. And again, that run game is going to be so important to the quarterback tonight.
And as I mentioned, 166 combined starts. It's the 3rd most experienced group in the FBS, but 4 of the 5 transfers came from a group of 5. They got to prove capable of competition at the next level.
Dowdell is going to take off again for the sideline. He's going to be cut down at about midfield. It's a good tackle there by Donmiel Rogers, the cornerback. It's been a rough start to the year for this Eastern Michigan defense. Gave up 479 yards of offense last week to Long Island. 231 of that came on the ground.
They've done a really bad job at defending the edges, and you see early Kentucky trying to get to the outside. They're giving up 311 rushing yards per game, 2nd worst nationally.
They've got Kentucky here in a 2nd and 19. Over the middle, and that's deflected. Incomplete for Boley. He was trying to hit his tight end, Willie Rodriguez. Willie Rodriguez, very athletic tight end that has a close friendship with Boley. Don't be surprised if he goes to number 81 a few times tonight.
Absolutely. He's their athletic pass-catching tight end. He's what they call the F tight end. You have a Y, which is the blocker, and F, you can flex him out in the slot.
3rd and long. Eagles are going to rush 3. Down the seam, and there it is, caught by Rodriguez. That's a first down. That is a tandem that has people excited on that Kentucky coaching staff.
Cutter Boley told us he's going to be in the slot right here. Willie Rodriguez, you can't see him. Cutter Boley told us in meetings, he said, I really enjoy throwing to Willie Rodriguez and the tight ends. Sort of my security blanket. When stuff's not open down the field, I'm going to check the ball down to him, but he's open right up the seam. Perfect play call by Bush Hamdan right there.
Rodriguez credits Boley for maybe being the main reason he's on this campus. Play fake. Cutter getting some pressure from behind, throws to the end zone, has a man, it is caught. Incomplete. And another tight end throw to Caddis. And the crowd thought it was a touchdown, but they're going to rule it incomplete.
And Caddis comes up limping, but this is the same exact play that they had. He's going to go over there and then right up the field. It's called a throwback to the tight end. A little play action. They block it up. There's only 2 people on the route. They hit this earlier for a big game, and it's a really nice throw. Just couldn't come down with the catch.
Oh, he was juggling it a little bit. Play action. Throw into the end zone again, and another incomplete pass. That time he wanted Hardly Gilmore. Big wide receiver, good coverage in the secondary by Caleb Dobbs, the corner. And so now it's 3rd down and 10.
You've seen Cutter Boley early in this game take shots down the football field. Only 6 attempts. 5 of those have been over 10 yards. They want to be more aggressive right here. Don't force it. Don't force it. You're in the red zone. You have points. Go through your progression. Settle in.
Drive has lasted 10 plays. 3rd down and long. Penalty flag down. Another throw. And another incompletion. Intended again for Willie Rodriguez. We'll see what the marker's about.
Looks like it's going to be holding, usually when the flag's behind the offensive line. You're Eastern Michigan, right? Probably
Personal
decline it.
foul, hands to face, defense number 53. Has to get this to the goal. Automatic first down.
It's the linebacker, Messiah Blair.
Well, that was wrong, right? Big penalty right there by Blair. Just can't do that. You got them kicking a field goal. Give a new set of downs right here.
That's going to make Chris Creighton's beard even a little grayer.
That's a nice beard, though.
They had no penalties last week in the loss to Long Island. Last year, they were the most penalized team in the MAC. That's a costly one. First down and 10. Good run. Touchdown, McGowan. Second touchdown here in the quarter. What an addition to this Kentucky roster he has been.
Just keeps churning those big thighs. I was down there in pregame, saw him, and it's just an unbelievable run. He breaks 1 to 2 to 3 tackles on this run right here. He's their guy. He's the guy they love. And just a crucial penalty by Blair on Eastern Michigan to give them a new set of downs. The very next play, in for a touchdown.
Jacob Coway, redshirt freshman from Billings, Montana, splits the uprights. He's been perfect on field goals and PATs this year. 14-0 Kentucky. It's get right week for the Wildcats, and so far they're looking right.
McGowan and Gatsky just right up the edge. Shows that speed, is able to get there. Lexington, Kentucky. Come on back.
ESPN College Football is presented by Ice Cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a pepper thing. And in part by the Salted Caramel Toffee Iced Coffee for only $2.99. Live free. Beat Sonic.
An 11-play, 79-yard scoring drive in just over 5 minutes. McGowan, his second rushing touchdown of the quarter. And Cutter Boley, the redshirt freshman, making his first start of the year. His second career start here at Kentucky. 3 for 6, 50 yards passing on that drive. This offense looks a little bit different than what we saw last week.
Looks completely different than the first 2 weeks. Cutter Boley is taking chances down the field. He's giving what Kentucky coaches called opportunity balls, meaning you're throwing it up to our receivers or tight ends and running backs, giving them a chance to come down with it. Really good start for Cutter right now.
We talked to Bush Hamdan about simplifying the offense this week. That's what he wanted to do. Took some of the pre-snap motions out to, make things pretty easy on Cutter. A package of plays that they could always count on, in critical situations. But he looks pretty loose and comfortable right now.
Yeah, and I think they would have taken the package of motions off regardless of who the quarterback is. They wanted to simplify, but especially with the new quarterback in the rain, makes sense.
Well, Miller Kim is 2 of 5, 21 yards passing, looking to throw on first down, slips a sack, and will slide ahead across the 30-yard line. Noah Kim has an ability to run. Eastern Michigan recruited him because of his passing ability, but they've been surprised by his ability to do that.
He's way more elusive than you think watching him on the football field, and coaches told us he has a big play potential as a runner. He's doing a good job right now getting away from some sacks and some pressures to gain positive yards.
Tahir Dunlap in the backfield. He'll get it again and bounces to the right side. This Eastern Michigan running attack is winning some battles up front. They did lose their starting center and their captain, Mickey Revelinski, in the preseason. He's out with a broken hand, hoping to get him back soon. And they moved some other guys around. Joshua Anderson, their left guard, is out tonight. So Owen Snively is starting. Everett Small, the starting center, and so far that front is moving. Kentucky D-line back on occasion. And that's going nowhere this time. Second down as Dunlap gets stopped. There you can see Revelinski. He is the heart and soul of that offensive line for the Eagles, and they think they can get him back soon.
And they're out left guard Joshua Anderson as well. He had 8 starts last year, probably their most experienced offensive linemen, but it's surprising to see the Eastern Michigan Eagles have success running the football vertically rather than horizontally versus this front.
$14-0 Kentucky. Second down and 11. Wide open receiver. Out of the backfield, Dunlap. Good run after the catch. He is their biggest running back. They like him between the tackles, but he can get on the perimeter too.
And they bring pressure off this side, and Dunlap is just going to run outside right here up the seam untouched. This is a complete bust. Usually when you bring pressure off the slot side or the field side, a defensive end, which they call the jack, linebacker in Kentucky's defense should be covering him. Just a miscommunication there for Kentucky, and a huge play.
39 yards to the 24 of the Wildcats. Now Kim pumps, rolls to the right, looking downfield. Still looking to throw, he's just going to toss it away. The tackling on the perimeter, you've touched on it already. It was not great last week for Kentucky. They wanted to clean that up, but also some busted coverages on the perimeter too.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Brad White's scheme causes confusion for offenses, and sometimes it causes confusion for an inexperienced defense. He told us in meetings he wanted to simplify as well, let our guys play fast. So far, the miscommunication has shown up.
Second and 10. Quick throw. Caught. And immediately the receiver is wrapped up after a 3-yard gain. Jamarian Wheeler makes the catch, and now a third down and medium for Eastern Michigan.
They got to 4th and 2 last time, went with a Wildcat run right up the middle. It's third down here. You got to be suspecting that they're in 2-down territory, so it opens up your entire playbook.
Dante McMillan shifts back into the backfield. Kim has time to throw, dumps it off, and incomplete. Joshua Long can't haul it in, the tight end from Los Angeles, and it's fourth down. And Chris Creighton's going to run the field goal unit off. And Kessinger will attempt a short field goal.
You got to imagine if they catch that, they get to 4th and 1 or 4th and 2 and go again. It's a little tight end delay screen. But right here, a chance to get points on the board.
Kessinger 3 for 3 on the year. This is from 38. His long this season so far, 37. And no problem for the redshirt freshman from Columbus, Ohio. First quarter points allowed by Kentucky this season. More SEC football comes your way next Saturday as 24th ranked Auburn is in Norman to take on number 13 Oklahoma at Memorial Stadium. Game time on ABC, 3:30 Eastern. Of course, you can always watch on the all-new ESPN app from anywhere. He's Chase Daniel. I'm Clay Matvick back here at Kroger Field in Lexington, Kentucky. Kentucky has lacked explosive plays on offense this year. We're seeing some tonight.
Well, they've got 3 already tonight. A lot in the pass game, 2 of those, and 1 in the run game, both coming from tight ends. When we talked to Kentucky coaches earlier this week, they said, hey, we got to get our receivers involved, but hey, they're getting the tight ends involved in the explosive pass game. And we got some video to show it and prove it, because Cutter Boley is pushing the ball down the field. Right here to Josh Caddis, the next one, right up the seam to Willie Rodriguez, hurling a guy, and then punch it in with Seth McGowan. I mean, this is the Kentucky offense that they've been wanting to see all year long. They're off to a good start here in the first quarter.
After that 8-play scoring drive that results in a field goal for Eastern Michigan, here's Cutter Boley again. Backed up Brock Vandegrift and Gavin Wimsatt last year. Played in 4 games last season. Small sample size, but they liked what they saw enough to make him the backup coming out of camp. 8-yard pickup there on first down for Dante Dowdell. They wanted to bring him along slowly. That's why Calzada got the nod coming out of camp. They didn't think that Boley was quite ready for it, but they need him now. Second down and 2. Penalty flag comes down. It looked like a full start. We'll see.
Offside. Defense number 53. Line up in the neutral zone. That penalty will be declined. Resulting play. First down.
That's going to be a first down run, a gain of 7. Penalties decline. That's the second penalty so far on Messiah Blair. The first one was costly, kept a drive alive that led to a touchdown for Kentucky.
Well, I just like Cutter Boley using the cadence right there in a clap cadence. One clap is on one, 2 claps right there. Got Blair to jump off sides, showing nice poise right here early in the game for Cutter Boley.
Minute and a half to go in the opening quarter. Here's Dowdell again. He had 129 yards week 1 against Toledo. We're seeing Dowdell and McGowan going back and forth. This is a great 1-2 combo.
And Dowdell has 185 rushing yards this year. 79 of them were on one run, a touchdown run, where he showed breakaway speed. He's supposed to be the bruiser, right? But he's got home run speed too, Clay.
They both are quick. Mark Stoops very happy with how this running game is starting to come together. Play action. And knocked down over the middle. Cutter Boley was trying to find somebody behind the linebackers, and Sterling Miles almost intercepted that, the Cincinnati transfer.
Sterling Miles just dropping back into coverage. It's an RPO. Cutter Boley pulls it. Miles gets right in the window. He's right here. Going to try to throw a slant behind him. They bring pressure off the other side. Nice play right there. Just get that ball up a little bit. It's an easy completion.
Third down and 8. And that almost was picked off. Boy, a dangerous throw there for Boley, who had an interception in 3 of his first 5 career games.
They're just trying to throw a corner route right here. The safety undercuts it, and this has sort of been the issue with the small sample size of Cutter Boley's play. He likes to put the ball in harm's way. He throws the ball down the football field. Would have been a nice interception right there by Norman.
Javian Norman, the star backer, as Aiden LaRosse comes on for the punt. He handles punting and kickoffs. Juan Salas let it bounce. He rolls behind him, and it's going to get to the 6-yard line. What a punt by Aiden LaRosse. 52 yards. Grew up playing rugby in South Africa and has a very strong leg.
Kentucky's lucky right there. Eastern Michigan came after that punt. They had 4 guys with 8 hands trying to block it, and somehow that kick found its way through.
So here comes Eastern Michigan again. 51 new players for the Eagles. 12 first-time starters, tied for the most in the FBS. Kentucky, of course, brought in a slew of new players as well, over 50. It's the age we are in college football. On first down, to the flat, caught. And Dante McMillan, who started his career at Weber State, he gets 6. Now in his 3rd season at Eastern Michigan. So far, Eastern Michigan has done a decent job, staying on schedule. Pretty good on first down.
They moved the ball really well so far in this game. And this is an explosive offense. They already have 11 plays of 20 yards or more, so they can move the football. It's just around the red zone area where they've struggled tonight.
Pretty good first quarter for the Kentucky Wildcats. Their first game under the lights, and the lights are shining brighter at Cutter Boley. It's 14-3 after 1. This is the SEC on ESPN. You're watching ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Dr. Pepper. We start the second quarter, 14-3 Kentucky.
In the first quarter, Clay, was just missed opportunities for the Eastern Michigan Eagles. They missed an interception. They threw an interception. There was a personal foul penalty that gave Kentucky a new set of downs. Let's see if they can settle in, because they've been moving the football down the field.
Nothing up the middle for Dante McMillan. Last week, Ty Bryant had 2 first-quarter interceptions against Ole Miss. And on the first play from scrimmage tonight, Davron Rayner with a pick. It led to a touchdown a couple plays later.
A really nice job by Nichols, the starter today at corner, being aggressive, going up, attacking the slant, getting the tip. Rayner finishing it off.
3rd down and 4. Kim in trouble from the end zone, throws it downfield, and it is caught. What a catch. At the 26-yard line, it is hauled in by Tanner LeMaster, the former Kentucky Wildcat.
Did he catch this? Let's see. Ball looks to be in his hand. It's hard to see from this angle right here. LeMaster looks to have control, but Noah Kim, if this play stands, Houdini back there, going right, going left. Looks like it is a catch. But a heck of a play by Noah Kim.
Big tight end. Was here at Kentucky the last 2 seasons. Tanner LeMaster appeared in only 1 game while he was in Lexington. And now Noah Kim takes off. There's showing that ability to run the football. That's a gain of 10 and another first down.
That's what the coaching staff told us they wanted to do. They're going to be a zone read. Number 1's going to come down. Noah Kim's going to take this right up the field. Cam Olds playing that jack spot. Comes down too far and allows Kim around the outside, which is where Kentucky did not want to get beat coming into this game.
Couple of yards on the ground for McMillan. Noah Kim from Centerville, Virginia. That's a suburb of D.C. Didn't start at Coastal last year. Was looking for more fertile ground and comes back to the state of Michigan, where he once played for the Michigan State Spartans.
Coaches absolutely love him. They love his work ethic. Cool, calm, collected. He's played a lot of football. He's the heartbeat of this offense.
Eagles on 2nd down and 8, floated. And it's going to land incomplete. Noah Kim was trying to hit his tight end LeMaster in stride again. And another 3rd down. We'll see if this Kentucky defense can get off the field here.
Yeah, and look at 7 right here. Rayner, okay, really good coverage. They love their linebackers to run sideline to sideline. Okay, he's 217, so he's really good in pass coverage.
Well, he's been in the system for 3 years.
And if I'm Kentucky defensively, I cannot let Noah Kim sit back there and pick you apart. They're playing man-to-man coverage. Bring some pressure here.
Eagles 1 for 3 on 3rd down. Kim getting heated up. Being chased. Throws, and it's incomplete. Penalty flag down in the backfield. Good pressure.
Holding, offense number 72. That penalty will be declined. It's 4th down.
Mack Indestead, the left tackle, with the hold, and Eastern Michigan is going to have to punt.
And they finally got pressure right up the middle. You're going to see Sam Green does a little stunt, comes from the outside, goes to the inside. That's where they have to attack this offensive line of the Eagles. They're without their starting center. They're without their left guard. Expect more of that as the game goes on.
Ty Bryant, the aforementioned defensive back to return this punt. Tomasak's kick, fielded at the 22-yard line. Some room for Bryant at the middle, good return. Cross the 45, and that's where he's toppled at the 47-yard line. Good return for Ty Bryant. He brings it back 26 yards. Cutter Boley and the offense coming back with good field position. Next week, we have a Monday Night Football doubleheader for you. Baker Mayfield and the Bucks taking on the Texans. 7 Eastern, ESPN, ABC, and ESPN Deportes. Then at 10 on ESPN and ESPN Deportes, the Chargers and the Raiders. Chargers, one of your former teams, Chase Daniel. You played 14 years in the NFL, primarily as a backup quarterback. We're seeing Cutter Boley, who started the year as the backup for the Kentucky Wildcats, getting a shot to run the offense tonight. How was his week of prep? Caught in the flat. Kendrick Law, good move, and inside the 40-yard line of Eastern Michigan.
Yeah. Talking about the prep of a backup quarterback, but you look at right now, Kendrick Law, they are always finding ways to get him the ball. Right here, you line up in the backfield as a running back, hops over this guy. This guy's the most explosive receiver that they have.
Senior out of Shreveport. That's 16 on that play. And now they go back to the ground game in McGowan.
And back to being the backup quarterback. Look, there's a lot of stuff that happens during the week when you're the backup quarterback, especially when you start the season. One, you don't get any reps with the ones. You have to run the scout team offense. So if the backup quarterback is playing this week, he's running Eastern Michigan's offense. So a full week of prep for Cutter Boley has been exactly what the doctor ordered. He's a lot more calm. Talking to him in meetings, he feels good about this game.
Can't imagine he's happy about the rain coming down. Lofts it to the corner, and it's caught. Hardly Gilmore hauls it in inside the 5. That's a gain of 30, first down and goal.
And Gilmore, just a straight go route, said, I'm just going to run right by you down here. It's a one-on-one ball. We talked about it today. Opportunity balls. He beats them down the field. Gilmore is their most talented receiver. He's the most polished. He plays into the boundary. Nice throw, dropping it in the bucket right there.
McGowan already 2 touchdowns tonight, stacked up. And it's going to be a loss of 1. Barry Manning making the stop.
Here's another look at that throw. A little play fake, eyes down the field, gets the football up and down, drops it in the bread basket. They practice these throws all week into a hoop. And that was right in the middle of the basketball hoop right there.
And Boley wants to throw here, looking to the end zone, wide open, caught for a touchdown. There's his man, Willie Rodriguez, the tight end. And that's a pleased-looking head coach.
Right here, Rodriguez is just going to come across the line of scrimmage. He's going to sell the block. The defenders run into each other. And Clay, this is the first touchdown through the air that the Wildcats have thrown. Cutter Boley marches them down the field, a little swing route to Law, a nice fade route or a go ball to Gilmore, and then letting him throw it down there in the red zone to get the touchdown to his favorite tight end, Willie Rodriguez.
Well, you said that this Kentucky offense looks different with Boley at the controls. That is the first passing touchdown of the year for Kentucky.
And Boley's fired up, man. The first passing touchdown of the year. The Wildcats on top.
(21-3) Kentucky leading now, 10-18 to go in the second. Ty Bryant and the Kentucky defenses look sharp. Bryant was sharp last week. He wants to be a TV analyst. Here he is with Chase. Let's cut to the chase.
But just reading out the routes and stuff like that, once I see 2 dive in 2, I'm like, I have to push
I'm out.
more to the
Go help my guy.
Yeah, I have to push more to
because
the
I would say
field.
right in 2-man where people want to attack middle field.
Middle field, yes
Right.
sir. Facts. After that, once I see 2 just dive in completely,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna try to get over top of them. I got over top of them. Shout out to the rush right here.
Yeah, let's
my
say
boy
the
David.
rush is legit.
Facts, yes sir.
Hey, I think he's got a future in this business.
Tell you what, I was really impressed with him. We sat down, we watched a couple plays, especially his interceptions, and he knew exactly what was happening. You can always tell, Clay, if you open up the iPad and the guy knows the fast forward or rewind button as the space bar, you know he watches a lot of film.
Well, he wants to play in the NFL first, but then after that, he wants to get into television. He's coming after your job, big man.
Told him he needed to start a YouTube.
Aiden LaRosse puts it through the back of the end zone again. And Eastern Michigan will come out to start this drive at the 25-yard line with 10:18 to go before halftime.
If I'm Eastern Michigan right here, we have to put together some type of scoring drive. This game is already getting out of hand. The rain is coming down. It affects how you throw the football. This is a big drive in the game for the Eagles.
Rain is really coming down hard now. Kim looks right, comes back left. Ball is tipped. Hung in the air momentarily, and then lands incomplete. Second down. Looked like Quay Scott, the nickelback, sophomore out of Marion, South Carolina, got his hand out.
Just trying to set up the screen game right there. This is what the coaches told us defensively. They're not getting a lot of sacks, but they're getting pressures. And if they can't get sacks, get your hands up in passing lanes. We've already seen it on the interception, and then again right there as well.
Kim, 6 of 14, 83 yards. He's been intercepted. Goes to the air again, has a wide open receiver out of the backfield, Joey Mattard. Their number 3 running back, his first touch. That's a gain of 22 on the reception.
It's really similar to what they ran earlier. He's going to go right down the sideline, Mattard is, and no one has him. The linebacker, okay, is supposed to have him man-to-man. Number 44, Smith. He just completely drops him, and it's an easy completion and a huge explosive play for the Eagles.
Looking to pass again, Kim. Good pressure there from Smith. As Kim was able to get away, but then chased down and dropped for a loss. Antoine Smith, the weak side linebacker, came in on the blitz. That's a loss of 5.
Smith making up for his bust in coverage. He's behind the goalpost right there, just going to come right through the middle on a little delayed pressure. Misses him the first time. Continues to go back there and slows Kim down. This Eastern Michigan offensive line has only given up 2 sacks coming into this game. Steven Souls Jr. with the actual sack, but good pressure there by Smith.
Delayed handoff, getting back to the original line of scrimmage, and then stripping tacklers on the inside. Dante McMillan. Boy, that is an inspiring run for Eastern Michigan. A gain of 14 and a first down.
Looked like he was down. Great catch by Noah Kim, and then you bobble it, and he's able to still get the first down. Nice job.
They're actually not going to give it to him. They spot it short.
Oh.
So it's 3rd and less than a yard. Didn't look like a great spot for the Eagles, and it's McMillan again, and now they will move the chains as he gets it to the 41. Well, this is an important drive here for Eastern Michigan.
And you look at the snap issues from center Everett Small, the rain is coming down, right? And back-to-back snaps have been a little bit high, something to look forward to, something to look at for sure for both teams with this rain coming down.
Kim throws back. Boy, Kentucky smelled that one out quickly. Sam Green, you talked about him being the starting Jack linebacker. He was there, so was J.Q. Hardaway, but that's a key position, the Jack linebacker in this Kentucky defense.
It's the most important position on defense, is what defensive coordinator Brad White told us. You have to be able to rush the passer, and you have to be able to play coverage. And right there, sniffing out the screen for no gain. Nice play.
Just over 7 minutes to go before half. Second down and 10. Here's Noah Kim. Throwing off his back foot, and it's incomplete. Penalty flags all over the place. Boy, Kim has got a strong arm. That was an off-balance throw again. Kevis Thomas was in coverage.
Pass interference, defense number 19. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
And he's bear hugging him right there. So difficult for a defensive back when your head is turned away from the quarterback to be able to turn it back and actually play the football. Really nice job by Kim, giving his guy a chance down the field, but just a penalty that should not have happened right there on Thomas.
Nick Devereaux drawing that penalty. So first down and 10 from the 25-yard line. Jet sweep. Little running room. And another good pickup on first down. That time it's the wide receiver Ben Prosper picking up 7. He came into the night their second leading wide receiver.
This is the third drive into the red zone area. They came away with only 3 points last time.
Now Dunlap again. Kentucky ready. Tavion Gadsden, the big defensive tackle. He's right there, no game. Gadsden missed all but 2 games last year with a knee injury. He's happy to be back.
3rd and 3 right here. Big down for Kentucky's defense. You got to imagine they're going to come up and play press man. Do not allow the underneath completions. They have had success the past few third downs blitzing up the middle. Let's see what they end up doing here.
Three-man rush. Time for Kim, now running out of it, steps up, and he's going to be stopped short of the first down marker. So 4th down, what does Chris Creighton do here?
I think you got to kick it. And really good coverage, right? It's drop 8. There's 8 defenders. A great call by Brad White to switch it up. They've been bringing pressure. There's nothing open right there. Nice job getting the sack by Humphrey Grace.
There's Brad White, the defensive coordinator. And the kick is good for Kessinger, his second field goal. As Eastern Michigan gets another 3 on the board, but Kentucky's defense holds Eastern Michigan out of the end zone.
Yankees, Red Sox on ESPN and the all-new ESPN app.
You feel that? A Monday Night Football doubleheader. Baker feels it. That hyped up and a recharged rivalry. Feeling all the feels for Bucks Texans at 7 on ABC and ESPN, and Chargers Raiders at 10 on ESPN.
Cutter Boley making his first start of the year, 5 for 10, 85 yards and a passing touchdown. The only passing touchdown of the season so far for the Wildcats. And he's been coming to this stadium for a long time. Lifelong Kentucky fan. He's from Hodgenville, about 80 miles from here. And when we talked to him yesterday, you could tell he was fired up for this opportunity.
Yeah, he loves it. He's a homegrown kid, right? He was a backup quarterback who now has a chance to become the future of the program. He's off to a really good start tonight.
So after another field goal for the Eagles, Kentucky's going to get it back. That's going to roll all the way back into the end zone for a touchback. So let's go back to the touchdown pass.
Yeah, Cutter Boley settling in nicely. They're going to have an out route, an in route, and a clear route over underneath. He gets through his progressions. He looks to Kendrick Law, then to Macklin on the back end line, and then finds Willie Rodriguez. That's what coaches wanted to see. Can you go through your progressions? Can you keep your feet moving? He settled in really nicely.
You know, one thing Mark Stoops said to us is we're still looking for a go-to wide receiver. I've been really interested in seeing how comfortable Boley has been with his tight ends tonight.
And it makes sense to me. When you're a new quarterback, especially a backup, who are your safety valves? Running backs and tight ends. They've been running the ball really well and been spreading it around between the 3 tight ends nicely tonight.
McGowan has played well out of the backfield. He's out there, but Boley wants to throw. Can scramble too. And that is caught, but is it complete? The officials looking, and they're going to say that's a catch. How about it? Another tight end reception. Josh Caddis, the senior from Cincinnati, give him 34.
He's the heart and soul of this offense. And I mean, the catch is amazing, but the throw on the move, it looks like they're taking a timeout to maybe try and challenge it. It looks like it was a catch, but the throw by Cutter Boley escaping the pocket to the right. I thought he should have ran, Clay. He had 10 yards in front, but he ends up throwing the football to Josh Caddis for a huge gain.
Boley has decent legs. Mark Stoops says they need more in the quarterback run game, and they think that Boley can give it to him, but look at that arm talent, too.
He's confident. The moxie is off the charts. His teammates love him. The homegrown kid buying some time in the pocket. Mark Stoops has to be happy. Let's see if this is a catch. It sure looks like it. His left foot is down, and he's got the ball in the hand. I'm seeing, really looks like a catch to me, that left foot. Let's see if he maintains possession. I mean, an amazing catch, a back shoulder throw to the tight end, Josh Caddis, on a scramble drill. Nothing was open. He's able to buy some time. I thought he was going to run. You see him point. Said, go deep down the field. This is what the Wildcats have been missing, Clay.
Oh. A lot of fans would agree with you on that comment. Josh Caddis, his dad, Eric, played 7 years in the NFL as a tight end with the Bengals and the Jets. That was a pro-type reception there. As McGowan starts chewing up yardage again. Man, has he been explosive out of this Kentucky backfield. 17 more yards for Seth McGowan.
Every time he touches the football in pistol, it's explosive. He likes to run in between the tackles. You see the vision and the cut there to get outside, pointing at the security guard. You like that? Like Kirk Cousins did.
McGowan now 7 carries, 49 yards, 2 touchdowns. They feed it to him again. What a spin at the 21-yard line. Stays on his feet and leans inside the 20, a gain of 4 on first down. Seth McGowan, Texas native, began his career at Oklahoma.
We talked about this, the explosive plays down the football field. There was a lack of aggressiveness the first 2 weeks. Clearly not the case tonight.
Another strong run for Seth McGowan. 10 yards, first down. And they're going to move the sticks inside the 10. Goal to go, Kentucky.
And this big blue wall is just completely wearing down this front. Look at this push. They're not trying to run anything fancy. I mean, you could drive a Mack truck through that. He didn't get touched till he's 5 yards down the field. You got to imagine more of that pistol. See if they run inside zone right at him again. False start.
False start. Offense number 50. 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
Well, Alex Woolschlager, one of those members from the Big Blue Wall, right tackle, transferred in from Bowling Green. Was one of the top O-linemen in the MAC last year. He's been a good fit so far with Kentucky, but that penalty will move him back to the 15-yard line. Fred Ferrier goes in motion, and they'll stick with McGowan, who's wrapped up quickly this time inside the 15 at the 13. Donovan Green, the nose tackle, is there first. So second and goal.
Talking about the receivers right now, they only have 2 catches, one from Gilmore, one from Law. Law's coming into the game right here. This is where they like to use him. Right there, down at the bottom of the screen. Goes in motion right here. Let's see if they can get him going.
Petter Boley takes the snap, pumps again, now looking for an exit door. Has a block, gets behind Rodriguez and dives inside the 5-yard line. Pretty good run there for Boley. And a gain of 9, so third down and goal to go.
Really nice job. They're trying to set up a screen pump. So Boley pumps it to the right. They have a seam route. It's covered. You know what he does? He doesn't panic. He takes the football, understands, gets Willie Rodriguez as a lead blocker. Want to be able to use the clock here. No rush. Don't give Eastern Michigan the football back on a huge 3rd and 4.
2-minute timeout. Third down goal for Kentucky with a 21-6 lead coming back after this break. Coming up at halftime, you can watch the live performance of Kentucky's Wildcat Marching Band on SEC Network Plus. Start streaming now on the ESPN app. 21-6, Kentucky, third down coming up. From inside the 5-yard line, what do you expect here?
Well, they got 12 personnel in. That means 2 tight ends, 3rd and 4 right here. Eastern Michigan likes to bring pressure. Josh Caddis was a big weapon down here last time.
Cutter Boley. Wide open receiver, another touchdown pass, but flags are down. This might be coming back.
Holding on the defense, number 6. The penalty is declined. Result of the play is a touchdown.
Josh Caddis. Couple of big catches on that touchdown drive. And another drive down the field for a score for the Kentucky Wildcats.
He's becoming their go-to weapon down here, okay? He's going to come across the screen on a shallow cross. The Eastern Michigan defenders gets lost. You see him block out. The defenders think he's blocking, so they go with the sprint out for Cutter Boley, and Cutter Boley throws it back. We've seen that play at least 4 times tonight. 2 for touchdowns. Josh Caddis, have yourself a game, young man.
And Cutter Boley now back-to-back drives with a touchdown throw as Coway tacks on the extra point to make it 28-6. 7 plays, 75 yards. Boley 2 for 2 passing on that series.
It's a great play design right there from the offensive coordinator, Bush Hamden. Roll Cutter Boley out to the right. Drag your tight end Caddis on the opposite side of the field to the left. Find an easy completion for your young quarterback. And man, Cutter Boley, 7-12, 123 yards, 2 touchdown passes. Obviously through the air, the Wildcats we had mentioned had not thrown a touchdown pass coming into this game. Already have 2 in the first half today.
Passing game was last in the SEC coming into the night for Kentucky, last in completion percentage, and the only team in the league without a passing touchdown. But here in the first half, in his first start of the year, Cutter Boley has 2 passing touchdowns.
Moving forward with Cutter Boley in this Kentucky Wildcats offense, this is where you have to live. You have to trust your offensive line, get your 2 runners going, get some explosives out of the pass game. Now, we have only seen 2 receivers have catches tonight. You got to get those guys involved, but this is the identity of the Kentucky Wildcats offense.
And that's hammered through the end zone again by Aiden LaRosse. Well, tomorrow on Sunday, NFL Countdown before the Eagles-Chiefs Super Bowl rematch. Saquon goes one-on-one with Marty Smith, plus can Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers stay hot in his home debut tomorrow at 10 Eastern on ESPN and also on the all-new ESPN app. Aaron Rodgers sticking it to the Jets, proving the old man still got it.
He looked good out there, I'm not going to lie. Like 4 touchdown passes for Aaron Rodgers. Pretty good. DK Metcalf getting going.
And how about the young man looking pretty good tonight in Kentucky blue?
Been impressive. You try not to put too much on the young quarterback's plate, but he has delivered tonight.
The Raiders stopped as Noah Kim and the Eagles offense comes out with just under 2 minutes to work with. And just 1 timeout. Dante McMillan out of the backfield gets it to the 30. So it'll be 2nd down and 5. McMillan has been very busy tonight. Probably their best offensive weapon. An offense that has 2 field goals to show for their night.
Yeah, no more important drive than this drive. A 2-minute drill, 1:49. Noah Kim feels really comfortable in these situations. You have to get a touchdown.
Kim is going to take off, fake the handoff to McMillan, and then sprints for the first down. They'll stop the clock with 1:45 to go as the clock stops inside of 2 minutes.
Really nice start to the drive by Kim. Not pushing the ball down the field, checking it down there, running a zone read. Eventually, there's still a lot of time left, 1:45 and a timeout. You got to push the ball down the field in this 2-minute drive.
First down from the 36. Kim pumps, Lofts it downfield, has a wide open receiver. It's Terry Lockett Jr. in free flight, and he won't be caught. Touchdown, 64 yards. Noah Kim to Terry Lockett.
What an answer from Eastern Michigan and Noah Kim. Terry Lockett Jr. down here in the bottom of the screen is going to run a hitch and go. And Kentucky's defense had issues with hitch routes last week versus Ole Miss. They were playing too soft. So what does Kentucky do? They end up driving on the hitch. They take advantage of it, and they hit a huge touchdown. Thomas right there. Not the best play. Had the PI earlier as well, Clay.
Kentucky calls a timeout here with 1:36 to go, as they're hoping to get the football back and probably going to talk some strategy here before they might be able to do that. But, you know, as well as this first half has gone for Mark Stoops' team here, that's a sour taste, I'm sure, in the coach's mouth right now.
Especially from the defensive back who's had a PI already, right? And you give up a big double play. You're trying to teach aggressiveness at the corner position. After what happened last week at Ole Miss, you try to get an interception, which is not the case. You want to just let him have the football in front of you. You decide to drive on the ball and give up a huge play to give the Eagles a little momentum here.
Yeah, the perimeter defense has been something they've been talking about all week. And obviously, that's a letdown right there for the Kentucky secondary. An explosive play. Terry Lockett Jr. on the receiving end of that Kim pass. Good chemistry between those two. They spent 3 years together at Michigan State. And they get their first touchdown of the night.
The camaraderie at Michigan State is what the coaches brought up. That's a good point, Clay. On the same page. A good receiver and a good quarterback. They can finish each other's sentences. They've spent hours and hours throwing the football. They know everyone's move. There's such an answer right there by Eastern Michigan.
Kessinger tacks on the extra point to make it 28-13.
And we said they had to move the football down the field. Kim pumping there and just throwing a nice football. Hits him in stride. That's the most important thing. You hit him in stride because you have the guy beat. You have Thomas beat down the sideline. Noah Kim excited. We're back in this football game. 15-point deficit. Now the Eastern Michigan defense has to get a stop. And on the other side of that, we get to see Cutter Boley in a 2-minute drive.
And a chance to double dip here for the Wildcats. They get the football to start the second half. If Boley can lead the offense down the field and get some points here. Chance to widen their lead right away again in the second half. 2 timeouts remaining with 1:36 seconds to go before the break. This is the last tune-up before Kentucky gets into the teeth of SEC play. They're on bye next week. And then at South Carolina and Georgia. Next 5 games against the top 25. It is not going to be a walk in the park for Big Blue starting in a couple of weeks.
And to that point, you want to see your young quarterback in a 2-minute drill before the gauntlet of the schedule that comes up. How are you going to handle the pressure? How are you going to handle the timeouts? We saw this last week in Ole Miss, and Mark Stoops told us about it, the communication issues. 2-minute drive was not good. They have a chance here to feel really good about themselves going into the half if you can get some type of points. You have 2 timeouts left. You have 1:36. That is a really long time. Remember, the clock stops after a first down, under 2 minutes in the first half. You have all the time in the world. Don't be rushed. Get completions.
Cutter Boley, the redshirt freshman, got all the first-team reps this week. And pass is incomplete. Second down. McGowan out of the backfield. That was the intended play. Calzada is an emergency option only for this game. Suffered a shoulder injury 4th quarter against Ole Miss last week. And it's his throwing shoulder. He's in uniform, but Bo Allen is the backup otherwise. They would only go to Calzada in an emergency. Lot of time, and now Boley takes off, spins, and then gets dropped short of the 35-yard line, a gain of 9. Boy, showing some courage on that run with defenders bearing down on him, decided not to slide.
Kentucky choosing not to use a timeout right here, getting up to the line of scrimmage as fast as they can, trying to get the timeout so the clock stops.
3rd down and 1. And did he get it? Boy, that's going to be close. There's Makai Gilbert, a couple of penalties here in the half for Gilbert, but that's a tackle that stops the ball carrier short of the line to gain, so it's 4th down. And now Kentucky wants a timeout. No, Eastern Michigan calling.
It'll be an interesting decision right here, Clay, because it's 4th and inches for Mark Stoops and the Wildcats. Do you leave your offense out on the field? The first thing I thought was yes. If you can't get a first down behind 166 career starts in that big blue wall, handing the ball to Seth McGowan, who's your bell cow, I don't know. We'll see. Look right here, Cutter Boley, right? Figuring it out. The spin, takes a hit, gets a face mask right there. And then the last play, Gilbert just runs right up the middle unblocked and is able to take down Seth McGowan.
And that's a chore because McGowan is like wrestling a baby bull.
A baby bull. It looks like they're punting it. Probably a smart move right here, but a chance for Eastern Michigan. Now with only a minute left for them.
You see Mark Stoops a little disappointed with the way that drive dried up, so Aiden LaRoche to boot it. Gets it away. Good kick. Oh, and a devastating hit inside the 20. Flag comes out. That's going to be a penalty marker. Kendrick Law coming down as a gunner, just lit up Juan Salas.
Too early. Too early. Gosh, but Kendrick Law can do it all. Just got to be smarter in that situation. You already have him pinned down in the 20. Didn't give the returner
Interference opportunity to catch a kick. Kicking team number 1. 15-yard penalty.
That's the second week in a row that Kentucky has committed a penalty like this.
And this is sort of what happened last week, Clay, right? The 2-minute drive is non-existent. It's an incomplete pass, a run, and then a big-time penalty, a 15-yard penalty. I thought he got there a little early. And then, look, this is the second time that Eastern Michigan has come after this punter and almost blocked the kick. If you're Kentucky's defense right now, you have to stop Eastern Michigan. You cannot give Eastern Michigan any confidence going into half.
I can't believe Juan Salas walked away from that. Yeah, that was like a car accident.
Heat-seeking missile.
No timeouts remaining for Eastern Michigan. 50 seconds on the clock. Noah Kim, 64-yard touchdown pass the last time they had the football. Has time to throw. Leans into it. Gets it down the middle of the field. It's caught in Kentucky territory. At the 41-yard line, it's Joshua Long, a gain of 25. No chance to stop the clock for Eastern Michigan after they reset the football.
This is where they've struggled, in the middle of the football field. Nice job by Kim taking a shot down the middle of the field.
Kim unloads again. A little underthrown, coming back and making the catch and getting to the sideline. That's Wheeler, but they're going to keep the clock moving. Forward, he was tackled in bounds. As J.Q. Hardaway keeping him in bounds. 20 seconds to go. From the 32, Kim, incomplete. "13 seconds left."
Going back to that big play down the middle, Joshua Long is going to come streaking across the middle of the field. This is where Kentucky's defense has struggled. It looked like it was man-to-man. The defender dropped him and had a huge play. Now 3rd and 2, looking forward. No timeouts, 13 seconds. Ball has to go out of bounds here or through the first down marker.
Kim has time again to the sideline, and it is bobbled and incomplete. That stops the clock with 8 seconds left and brings up 4th down. Wheeler couldn't haul it in as Hardaway was in on the coverage.
Looks like they're going to try to kick it right here. Smart move, but decide to take the shot down the field. And I like that because the clock stops, right, Clay, on a first down. And man, did Kentucky catch a break right there, because he just pure out dropped that football.
Well, Eastern Michigan, after their defensive stand, now trying to get points ahead of the half. 50-yard attempt for Kessinger. Low kick, end over end, and it is good. 50-yarder for Kessinger. 3 field goals in the first half. 38, 39, and 50 yards.
You see Eastern Michigan and the Eagles, man, they're fired up. You get 10 points in about 1:50. Go down there, the kicker's fired up. Coach's beard is showing off, man. Look at him, flexing on him. Let's go. Okay, the baseball. But just such a great job by Eastern Michigan, which was down a lot, 28-6. And then you go down, you get 10 points in the last 50 of the half.
Wow, the Yankees and the Red Sox once again on our Sunday night baseball matchup. Final meeting of the regular season between these two great rivals. 7 Eastern, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, ESPN Radio. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern over on ESPN2 with baseball tonight. Sunday night countdown. Chris Creighton and the Eastern Michigan program. It's a blue-collar program. They are hardworking. They are always in the football game. It was a tough year last year. Didn't make a bowl season game, but they've had a tough start to this year. They're in this ball game right now, down 12.
And the word that Chris Creighton told us in production meetings was belief. I have belief in my program. I have belief in what we do. We are a blue-collar program. And he's got to feel really good about going into the half, only down 12 versus a Kentucky team who on offense has looked almost unstoppable, running the football and throwing the football. But going back to last week, the operational issues, 2-minute drive, all this stuff was not good. It has not looked good tonight either.
And Kentucky's just going to take a knee and take it into the locker room. So on balance, Cutter Boley, pretty good first half, but still some things operationally at the end of the half that they need to work through. And Kentucky will have the football to start the second half, leading 28-16. Second career start for Boley, couple of touchdown passes, but Noah Kim has the Eagles in the ball game at the half.
Okay, we back. Okay. Wait on it, put it painful.
You're watching ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Dr. Pepper. Back here in Lexington, and you're watching the SEC on ESPN. He's Chase Daniel. I'm Clay Matvick. Welcome back to the broadcast booth. Good first half, all in all, for Cutter Boley's second career start. Kentucky has the lead over Eastern Michigan at the half. He has a couple of touchdown passes. First touchdown passes of the year for the Kentucky offense, so that's promising for Kentucky, but still some explosive plays being given up by the Kentucky defense. And right now, this game is still hanging in the balance because of this 64-yard touchdown pass, Kim to Terry Lockett.
You're going to see a double move down here at the bottom of your screen. This is right before half. If you're the corner, Thomas, you cannot give up this play. They ran a hitch and go. This changed the complexity of the entire game, gave them some confidence coming out here to start the second half.
All in all, Kentucky wanted to be cleaner, smarter, better, Did you see enough of that in the first half for the Wildcats?
Offensively, they look like they have an identity, and that's running the football, getting their tight ends involved in the pass game, but you still have to play defense. And right now, Noah Kim, the Eastern Michigan quarterback, has 208 pass yards.
Kendrick Law on the return, and a flag comes down on the opening kickoff of the half.
Holding, turn team number 84. Half the distance to goal, first down.
Cutter Boley, 7 of 13, 123 yards passing, but you can see the stats for both teams pretty similar in a lot of categories.
Yeah, Cutter's done a really nice job in the first half, just sort of settling in. It's his first start of the year, second time playing in the game. Communication, the operation on offense for the most part between center and quarterback have been good.
They're going to run it on first down with Dante Dowdell. Pickup of 4. The run game helped Boley settle in the first half. But right now, Kentucky trying to stop a 10-point run for Eastern Michigan.
10 points unanswered at the end of the half, under 2 minutes. And, you know, when Kentucky had the ball last on the 2-minute drive, they went 3 and out, looking to do something here.
Ferrier goes in motion. Boley wants to throw a little screen to Ferrier. And it's a first down and more. Ferrier gets to the outside. Good move at the 35. And Fred Ferrier, 1 catch the first 2 weeks. Gets a big play there. The transfer from UAB, a pickup of 33.
Nice little tunnel screen right here. Up here, you're just going to stop. He's going to throw it, but I want you to watch the blocking down the middle of the field, especially once the guy catches the football. Excellent job by Gilmore on the edge, and the tight end as well. These plays only work if you can block on the perimeter. Nice work.
And Dowdell plunges ahead for a yard. We talked about you being a backup quarterback for a long time in your career, and just short plays, I would think, like that to the perimeter, you know, out in the flat. I'm sure got you comfortable on those situations where you had to come in.
Find the easy completions. If I can throw a ball behind the line of scrimmage and you go for 30 and I still get 30 passing yards on my stats, I love that. It gets me settled into the ball game.
Bush Hamden saying we need to get Cutter Boley comfortable as soon as possible. They did that right away in the first half, trying to get him settled in here early in the second half. Forced out of the pocket, being chased to the sideline, throws it away. And it'll be third down.
Nice job right there by Cutter Boley, seeing something on Eastern Michigan's defense. Hands to the head, alert, alert, changes the play. Thought he had Gilmore on a deep slant route to the right.
And timeout. They reset the game clock. And Mark Stoops is confused. 12:55, and the play clock is moving.
And 3rd and 9 right here. This Eastern Michigan defense likes to play man-to-man coverage. The outside throws are where he wants to work.
Pressure coming off the edge, stepping up in the pocket nicely, Boley. Deep downfield, incomplete. He wanted Gilmore. And I thought there was great pocket awareness by Boley, feeling that pressure, getting up so he could make that throw, but it was a little bit out of the reach of Gilmore, so 4th down.
A little bit of pressure in the pocket, has to step up, and he throws it late down the middle, or down the sideline. Just throws it too far, but watch this step up, right? You want to throw it on 1-2-3 hitch. He moves up in the pocket because of the pressure, and because of that pressure, forces the incompletion. Not the way Kentucky wants to start punting the ball back to Noah Kim and Eastern Michigan.
Juan Salas back to return this punt. 3rd kick by Aiden LaRosse, and this is a boomer. And it's going to be a touchback. Downtown Lexington on this Saturday night, where Kentucky has the lead over Eastern Michigan 28-16.
Take 136 teams who all want the same thing. Glory! Then throw in a bit of loathing. A few wild animals and one primal scream. Now buckle up for the wild world of college football.
Eastern Michigan has scored on its last 3 drives. They have the football here at their own 20. Chance to make this a one-score game.
Somebody on Kentucky make a play on defense.
2 backs to either side of Noah Kim, the quarterback rolling out. Former Michigan State Spartan is incomplete on first down. Good coverage by Scott, the nickelback. Terry Lockett Jr., who had that 64-yard touchdown reception at the end of the first half, was the intended receiver. You know, there's some stars on this Kentucky defense that really need to start standing tall. Afari, the weak side linebacker, comes to mind.
He's their best player on defense. I mean, he's put weight on. He's made him much better against the run. We have not talked about him at all tonight. There he is. He's the weak side linebacker. They really like their backers. Got to make a play in the run game here.
And run game going back to work. McMillan, he is stacked and tossed down by Khalil Saunders, the defensive tackle. Gain of 1, so here's a 3rd and 9.
And if I'm Brad White, the defensive coordinator for Kentucky, I have to do something to get Noah Kim off schedule, whether it's pressure. We've seen him drop 8. His scheme in general confuses quarterbacks because he's all over the place. You see everyone standing up right now. It's called a joker look inside. Okay, see if they bring some pressure out of this.
They send 5, and now it's whistle dead.
False start. Offense number 79. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
Everett Small, redshirt freshman, starting at center for Mickey Revelinski.
Kentucky really likes their 3-down package here. 3 defensive linemen on 3rd down. They can bring 7. They can drop 8. It's exactly what they're doing right here. Now the 3rd and 14. Imagine they would drop 8 to make it more difficult for Kim to find an open receiver.
Conservative call. They run it straight up the middle with McMillan, and Tomasak will come out with the punting unit. Alex Safari, the SEC's leading tackler coming into the night, indeed makes that stop. And so Kentucky's going to get the football back and possibly in decent field position.
Yeah, absolutely. Great stop. Great 3 and out there by Kentucky's defense. They needed it. They've given up almost 290-plus yards this game. A huge stop to start the second half. Get it back to Cutter Boley. Good field position. Let them settle in.
Wobbly punt by Tomasak. Bryant, who had the 2 interceptions last week. He's dangerous in the return game, too. Finally brought down at the 37-yard line. Bryant, the junior from Lexington. And so now Kentucky leading 28-16. We'll get it back in the hands of Cutter Boley in this offense. Bush Hamden said he was embarrassed last week. I got to believe he feels pretty good about the way this game has gone offensively for the most part, especially with the new quarterback.
Exactly, especially with the new quarterback. But here's what I want to see. They have 3 catches by receivers. 2 of them are behind the line of scrimmage. They want to see their receivers get started.
They stay on the ground on first down, and McCowan, a big burst up the middle, and he'll get to the 49 of Eastern Michigan. Seth McGowan on pace to be the leading rusher again 2 weeks in a row.
Well, if you're running it like that, you don't need your receivers taking catches right there. We've seen this play again. They're pulling the left tackle. They're pulling the left tight end. It's the gap scheme, and they're running right through the teeth of this Eastern Michigan defense.
12 carries, 79 yards, averaging almost 7 yards a tote. And here he goes again. He's going to be ankle tackled just inside the 45-yard line by McNulty. It's his first game of the year. He's been out with a foot injury. 2nd and 5. Ferrier comes to the near side. And Boley wants to throw. Has plenty of time. Still looking, pointing downfield, and now he's going to tuck it. Good coverage in the secondary by the Eagles. Boley gets close to the line to gain. Sterling Miles angled him out of bounds.
And this is growth for Cutter Boley. Even early in the game, we saw that dropped interception on 3rd down. Nothing was open. I mean, they had everyone covered. Don't put the ball in harm's way. Use your legs, exactly what Bush Hamdan wanted to say. A nice job there on the 1st down scramble to get the 1st down, excuse me. But that's growth within game. That's what they wanted to see.
Yeah, Mark Stoops. So we've had very little in the way of a quarterback run game the first 2 weeks. That was impressive there to extend the play and get the 1st down. Now McGowan again. Running backs coach Jay Boulware coached McGowan at Oklahoma before he ran into some legal issues, got in trouble with the law. But he's getting his second chance here in Lexington, and you can tell that McGowan appreciates it. And he's been a workhorse tonight.
2 touchdowns, 84 yards on the ground, real 90 now, 14 carries. We were talking before the game play. We said, hey, this guy, McGowan, needs to get at least 20 touches in the run game tonight. He's well on his way there.
2nd and 4. That little bit of daylight closed quickly up the middle, so it's going to be 3rd down. Eastern Michigan, they got back to basics this week in practice. A lot of missed tackles the first 2 games of the season. Chris Creighton says his defense was hungry for a better performance tonight. And they need a big stop here on 3rd down.
Biggest issue they've had, Clay, they've missed 48 tackles in 2 games. They've tackled pretty well here so far tonight.
Out of the shotgun, Boley. 3rd and 4, and it's dropped. Incomplete. Fred Ferrier had it and lost it. That would have been a 1st down. Instead, it's 4th down. And it's going to be a really long field goal attempt now for the Kentucky Wildcats.
You see right here, right in his hands. You don't want to jump if you're the receiver. Perfect throw. Nice field goal range right here, though.
Well, they trust him at this distance. Jacob Coway, the redshirt freshman from Billings, a 51-yard attempt. And it's off the upright, but gets in. Jacob Coway doinks it off the upright and sneaks it in from 51 yards out. And he stays perfect on field goal attempts this year.
I was hoping you'd use the word doink. That was impressive there from 51 yards. Just going off the top of the upright, getting the dealer's bounce right there. He made it. Kentucky, Eastern Michigan when we get back.
Our Monday Night Football doubleheader has the Buccaneers and Texans, 7 Eastern, ESPN and ABC, and then at 10, Chargers and Max Crosby's Raiders. Both games will be available on the all-new ESPN app. The MAC has always produced great players, including Crosby. He is the general manager of this Eastern Michigan college football program. He was hired back in April by Chris Creighton.
Yeah, what does that mean? A former or a pro NFL player being the assistant GM? I don't know. New age of college football, huh?
Well,
all Hall of Famers, except maybe this guy right here. That's pretty good.
We're seeing it a lot in college football. Andrew Luck, of course, another notable name that is a general manager at Stanford. I think in this age of college football, Chase, you're going to see that. There's so much to manage in the way of personnel, so much money, name, image, and likeness, all of it in the equation now.
Absolutely. Andrew Luck at Stanford, I mean, he is in the office every single day working his tail off to get that program turned around. It's impressive, for sure.
Noah Kim, over 200 yards passing, has thrown a touchdown, has an interception. That interception happened on the first play from scrimmage tonight. Otherwise, it's been a pretty good evening for Noah Kim. Transfer from Coastal Carolina. He uncorks one to the sideline. It lands incomplete.
And last Eastern Michigan drive was their first 3 and out of the entire game. Obviously, as you alluded to, the interception, but they moved the ball at will, almost at 300 yards of total offense. No bigger drive in the game than now to try and get some points. Cut this to a 1-possession game with a touchdown and an extra point.
Porter Rooks moves in motion to the slot. Kim has time, stands tall, throws on the crossing route, caught, and down to the 32-yard line is Joshua Long. And 5 catches, 63 yards, and a touchdown in the first couple of weeks. It's been pretty quiet tonight. 3rd down and 3. And now did they get Kentucky to jump?
It's like it.
Ken Williamson, our lead official tonight in the white hat.
This is what Eastern Michigan has been doing all game long. They rush up to the field.
Snap, false start, offense 77. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
Doji Dawe, the right tackle from Mali. He has been learning the college game as he goes.
Let's check him out right there. It looked to me that the nose tackle jumped first, and then he reacted off of that. But 3rd and 8.
So a break for Kentucky. Eastern Michigan just 2 of 8 on 3rd down. Comebacker caught well short of the line to gain. They needed the 35, and Devereaux doesn't get there. Ty Bryant, who had the big week last week, he makes the tackle.
Thrown underneath the sticks there to try and get the 1st down. Nice job tackling an open space by that Kentucky defense. Something they harped on all week long.
3rd punt tonight for Mitchell Thomasak. Jamori Macklin is going to take a turn here returning a punt, but another flag comes in. This might be delay a game.
Delay game, offense, 5-yard penalty. It remains 4th down.
So they'll back it up 5 yards.
Unlike Eastern Michigan, they're one of the least penalized teams in all of FBS. They came into the game with no turnovers, being really not penalized a lot.
And now Macklin comes up. Bryant's going to come back out to return this punt. And again whistles, and we've got a holdup.
It's a clock knock.
Please put 6:41 on the game clock. 6:41.
So they're going to reset the clock. It's been a busy Saturday in college football. A lot of big games, too. It's a fake. And Kentucky was ready for it. Wildcats not caught napping. C.J. Works read that perfectly. The true freshman from Dayton, Ohio. And look at the field position for Kentucky. They're going to have it inside their 30.
Number 15, they got everyone up right here. They're trying to play punt safe. They were ready for it. Got like 9 guys on the line of scrimmage. Don't really agree with the call right here by Chris Creighton. You know, you're down 2 scores. Now you're giving Kentucky even more momentum. Inside the 30, you're backed up. Yeah, they had to delay a game.
I appreciate the spirit for the Eagles and Chris Creighton's choice to maybe take a shot there, but it blows up, and now Kentucky trying to make him pay for it. They'll run it on first down. And Jason Patterson gets his first carry of 2025. He is a redshirt freshman running back out of Florida.
I know their game plan is to run the football behind that big old line, but I'm going to keep coming back to it. When we talked to coaches, they said the receiver room has to step up. Right now, only 3 catches by the receiver room.
Play action, getting heated up. Boley got rid of it to Kendrick Law. He is explosive, and that is a touchdown. 27 yards. Kendrick Law taking it to the house.
Like there's a flag on the play. But Kendrick Law, explosive, the most explosive receiver.
Offense number 17. 10-yard penalty for Scarlet foul. Second out.
This will be a spot foul as to take the touchdown off the board.
As soon as I say get the ball into the receiver's hands, they do it to Law, their most shifty and elusive playmaker. And number 17 at the top of the screen right there with a hole. As soon as he knows he's past him, he tackles him. Something that can't happen right there.
Well, Kentucky's going to get the first down, but the touchdown comes off the board. And they'll spot it at the 14-yard line. They feed it to McGowan. A couple of touchdowns tonight. And he's down to the 8-yard line.
A nice play on that holding, which should have been a touchdown, but Gilmore with the hold. They just sneak Kendrick Law out of the backfield. He's their gadget guy, as we alluded to. Get the ball in space to his hands. Cutter Boley feels really comfortable with him.
First couple of weeks, they hardly passed it all in the red zone. They stick with McGowan, and he's got a touchdown. 8-yard touchdown run. Seth McGowan is 3rd of the night. The senior from Mesquite, Texas, has a hat trick.
How about that? The hat trick for Seth McGowan. And this is a run play they've run over and over again. You're just going to pull both tackle and tight end. You're going to see Josh Braun and Henry Boyer pull out. It's a gap scheme. They start downhill and they bounce out with Boyer leading. A play they've come back to multiple times in this game.
Callaway tucks it in that near upright again. Here's another look at that touchdown for Seth McGowan. Boy, it's been a big night for the senior. 3 touchdowns here in Lexington. Touchdown night for Seth McGowan. 6'1", 215-pound senior running back who's getting his second chance at FBS college football here in Lexington, Kentucky. 17 carries, 104 yards, averaging 6 yards a touch. We said that they would likely lean on the run game tonight to give Cutter Boley a wide berth, and they have, and it has been effective. Let's take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to us by Allstate. It's been a busy day in college football. There you see the top 10 and no upsets to talk about. And, you know, that that Georgia win over Tennessee in Knoxville. That was a fun one to watch.
That's the game of the day for me. Georgia, Gunnar Stockton, we had him last week. Wasn't pushing the ball down the field. Today at Rocky Top was able to go in there in a hostile environment versus a really good Tennessee team and get a win.
Eastern Michigan down now 38-16. 5 minutes left here in the third quarter. Kim dumps it off short. And it's caught by McMillan, the running back. Pretty good catch, pretty good run after the catch, and that's going to be a first down. So that decision by Chris Creighton on the last drive for Eastern Michigan to fake the punt, 4th and 7 at their own 27. Kentucky was ready for it, and they made him pay with a touchdown drive.
Yeah, I don't really agree with it. I know they're trying to be aggressive and trying to catch them off guard, but you get a delay of game penalty, then you have a clock issue where they have to reset it, and you go out there and you give Kentucky a short field.
Ben Prosper, the receiver, tiptoes along that sideline. It's going to be a gain of about 7.
We've talked about tackling a lot for Kentucky, right? Missed tackle right there from the secondary, Cam Dooley. Look at the rush yards, Clay. 171 to 98.
Kim's going to be throwing a lot, most likely, the rest of this game. That's going to be a first down reception. Out to the 48-yard line, pickup of 5. They'll move the chains as Prosper brings it in.
And going back to the decision, it's a 2-score game at the time where you fake the punt on 4th and long, right? Punt it away. Your defense has been playing pretty well for the most part. Give yourself a chance now, seemingly out of reach unless they score here.
Kim being chased. McKees Humphrey Grace. Well, we hadn't called his name yet. Was the Missouri Valley Conference Defensive Player of the Year at South Dakota last year. And the old Coyote running down Noah Kim.
You're going to see him right here. All right, just the non-stop motor, swim move outside. Kim gets away, not so fast. Nice job by Humphrey Grace talking to the coaches. They really like him and his ceiling. Still a junior, 6'4", 270, but a key player for this defense getting into SEC play.
Pressure again coming. Kim got rid of it, and that's going to be a completion out to the 44. That's a really good catch by Long, and it'll set up 3rd down and long.
Really nice catch right there. Pretty good coverage by Sam Green, number 2 right there, who plays their jack. Remember, we said he has to be able to rush the passer and play coverage. I didn't know they'd be playing man coverage with a 6'2", 250 linebacker who primarily rushes the football, but pretty good coverage by the big man.
Kentucky wants a timeout. Their first of the half. With 2:35 to go in the third. Well, tonight, after Vandy and number 11 South Carolina wraps up over on the SEC Network, be sure to catch SEC Football Final with Dari Noka, Chris Doring, and Benjamin Watson. They'll take you through the day, the biggest stories, get you all caught up after this Saturday here in Week 3. It's also available on the all-new ESPN app. He's Chase Daniel, I'm Clay Matvick, and we've talked about this already, Chase, about how grueling the schedule is going to be for Mark Stoops and the Wildcats after the bye next week.
Then you go to at South Carolina, Lenora Sellers, at Georgia. You know, they big win today. Then you go to get Texas at home with Arch Manning here in Kentucky. Tennessee, Auburn. I mean, the schedule is just absolutely brutal. And both, by the way, after Auburn, you got Florida.
Yeah. Plus another non-conference game at the end with Louisville, their arch nemesis. They're going to be competitive in the ACC again this year. Kim takes off, gets into plus territory, well short of the line to gain. That's a gain of 10, but needed about 4 more yards. So 4th down, they're going to go for it, keeping the offense on the field.
Their defense is not even remotely set. And they got them to jump off sides last time Well, it was called a false start. I thought it was offsides with the clap. They check to the sideline, get the right play. You see Noah Kim right there signaling to his receivers down here.
Draw. And Kim is going to be close, but we'll see where they spot it. Khalil Saunders, the defensive tackle. He got to him before he could pick up the first down. Big stop for Saunders and this Kentucky defense.
He's fake signaling out to his receivers to make the defense see where he's going, and then Khalil Saunders, all 6'5", 300 pounds of him, sheds a block. Nice tackle there, big man.
Again, when we talked to Brad White, the defensive coordinator, he said, you know, it's not the front seven. It's not the linebacking. It's the perimeter stuff that's really been plaguing our defense. He's been really proud of the defensive line and the linebackers.
Absolutely, and look, he's the last line of defense really right there when they're running a quarterback draw. They're in that odd front, which is 3 defensive linemen center covered, and sheds the block really nicely. Makes a tackle, turnover on downs.
So Cutter Boley wants to throw again. He's had a career passing night, and he's into plus territory. Good catch and run, big play, and another explosive for the Kentucky offense. And this time it's Jamori Macklin. Better late than never for Macklin to give him 36.
He's a guy that I thought needed to get more involved in the offense, just running a little slant route behind the linebackers in front of the safety, and he's got elite speed. This is a guy that I saw in film study and we thought needed to get the ball in his hands more often so they can be more explosive on offense.
That's his first catch tonight. He got hot at the end of last year. Put up some big numbers. Good run up the middle for Patterson, his second carry, and it's first down and goal to go after Patterson rips it off for a dozen.
And Eastern Michigan's defensive line is just getting worn down behind this big blue wall of an offensive line in Kentucky. They're just running right at them. I mean, these running backs aren't even getting touched until 5, 6, 7 yards down the field. It's impressive.
Kentucky has been perfect in the red zone. 5 for 5, all touchdowns. Patterson again drops his shoulder and gets to about the 4. Well, it's good to see somebody other than Dowdell and McGowan getting some work. They have been worked really hard the first couple of weeks, and now Jason Patterson is working into the running back rotation for the Wildcats.
Yeah, the more depth you have, the better as they go through this brutal gauntlet of stretch of SEC games, right? Jason Patterson's probably his game the rest of the way through.
Bowie pumps, looking to run, and he's going to be sacked. Dropped at the 15-yard line. And another marker comes in. That was Carter Evans who got to Boley, but we have a penalty flag as the quarter comes to an end.
Holding on the defense, number 1. The penalty will be enforced half an inch to the goal and includes an automatic first down.
So an automatic first down to start the fourth quarter as Joshua Scott was called for that penalty. 3 quarters in the books here in Lexington, Kentucky. .16, Kentucky knocking on the door when we come back to start the fourth. Welcome back to the SEC on ESPN, ready to start the fourth quarter. Wildcats have the lead. They have been held under 400 yards by 9 straight FBS opponents. Looks like that streak is going to end tonight because they're over 400 right now. 402.
Hey! Streak busters.
Yeah. And trying to get in the end zone one more time. Cutter Boley making his second career start at Kentucky, takes the snap from under center and gives it to McGowan, who has 3 touchdowns tonight. We did see Bo Allen on the sideline, Chase, starting to loosen up. The backup quarterback potentially getting ready to get a shot here tonight as Boley has put in some pretty good work.
Yeah, absolutely. About time, right after this drive, if they score, get the backup quarterback some reps. I'm all for it. I was a backup quarterback my whole life. This is stuff you dream for. It's his Super Bowl when he goes in there. Find some completions, dice them up, go get another touchdown.
You weren't a backup at Missouri, my friend. You were a cover boy on every sports magazine in the country. Oh, no! Boley could not get a clean snap from the center, Jagger Burton. And we were talking about this with the coaching staff as penalty flags come raining in. Looks like Kentucky was able to recover Alex Wolfschlager. The tackle jumped on the football, but Mark Stoops said snapping issues by Burton have been a problem from time to time.
We've talked about it a lot this game as just the operation issues, the communication issues. This is going to happen when you put a quarterback who hasn't played a lot under center. They're usually in gun. They're trying to get under center. They're trying to run the football in. But as you said, Clay, Burton has had some snap issues. This is to be expected a little bit with, a young quarterback who hasn't played.
After the play was over, personal foul on the defense, number 6, jumping on the pile. Also, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 3, the offense, pulling a player off the pile. Those fouls will all sit, and the down will count. Now, second down.
Snap issues by Burton. Looks like Boley had it in his hands, and man, I know you want to get the ball. You never like diving onto piles as quarterbacks. That Drew Brees injury is just forever ingrained in my head.
And this play is going to be whistled dead. Caught in the end zone by Henry Boyer, another tight end for Kentucky. But it's not going to count.
Sloppy right now, right?
Well, Kentucky's goal this week was to be cleaner, sharper, and better. And at times we've seen that.
Not sure what's going on. Stoops does not look happy.
Are they picking up the flag? No announcement to the crowd. They're going to replay third down. Handoff. And Patterson is gobbled up. Nowhere to go for Patterson. And now it's fourth down. And what we saw last week inside the red zone starting to rear its ugly head again for the Wildcats.
Snap issues again. He barely catches the football. Jalen Farmer, the right guard, almost runs into it. Interesting decision to put him back under center after the snap issue. Maybe put him in gun, let him throw it. I know they want to run the clock right there, but came away unscathed after 2 snap issues right there.
Callaway will hit a little wedge here, a 24-yarder after a 51-yard hit earlier in the game. That makes it 41-16, but a bad taste in the mouth of Mark Stoops after that drive. 41-16, Kentucky here in the fourth quarter. ESPN supports the College Football Playoff Foundation's Extra Yard for Teachers Week. Each year we celebrate great teachers across the country who have inspired so many of us. Nominate a great teacher in your community by visiting cfpfoundation.org. My father-in-law, Ron, a high school principal for 35 years.
Hey,
yeah.
I'm going to nominate my kid's kindergarten teacher for this. San Diego.
Well, she has to put up with your kids.
She needs it.
Yes.
For putting up with my kids. Both of my kids have had her so far.
And through the end zone, touchback. Eastern Michigan will have it. So Cutter Boley, it kind of has the feel that his night might be done. He's got a career passing night. Meanwhile, his counterpart, Noah Kim, ready to come back out on the field. He has 249 yards of his own. Pretty good night. But Boley, 215 yards, couple of touchdowns, has his helmet off on the sidelines. Kind of felt like he was getting some pats on the back over there for Kentucky.
You'd imagine they're going to start rotating on defense and offense. Some of the second and third string guys, get them some play.
They fake the jet sweep, dump it off, short ball's loose. Was that behind? Was it live? No, incomplete. Thought that may have been a backward pass and been live, but it wasn't.
Close. You're starting to see the second team defensive line get in. This is good practice for them. Got to rely on depth with this brutal SEC schedule. You got to believe the starters are on the sideline or cheering them on, man.
Second down and 10. Kim, complete to the 30-yard line. It is caught by Nick Devereaux, graduate from Troy, Michigan. There you see the starters for that Kentucky defense.
Yeah.
Taking it easy right now.
They're locked in. Love to see it.
Third down and 3. Kim backpedaling, now steps up, throws, wide open man here on the near sideline. Devereaux gets it to midfield. And Nick Devereaux, when he has been targeted tonight, he's made some plays. That's a gain of 19.
Nice job by Kim in the pocket, buying some time, finding the open guy. He's played pretty well tonight. Coming on the road in Lexington, SEC school. They really like this kid.
Kim in the flat. It's going to be a short pickup as Kentucky rallies to Tanner LeMaster, their former teammate. Noah Kim is well here.
Yeah, it wasn't too much for him. Coming on the road in an SEC school to be able to move around with his legs, buy some time, hit some big plays down the field, which this whole team has been really good, specifically in the MAC with big plays, explosive plays. Obviously the one interception you want back, but it was tipped. Really the only interception he's thrown all year, so he's taking care of the football for the most part.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate way for him to start the game. That is caught in some traffic. Terry Lockett makes the catch for a first down to the 33, a gain of 13.
What a throw. You see Kim bump to the right, go out to the left, and Jordan Lovett, the safety, number 25, almost comes in. Says, nope, Terry Lockett Jr., I'm going to take that. Tries to go for the ball there. Nice concentration all the way to the ground.
And when Lovett hits you, you usually stay hit. I mean, he's been in this defense for quite a while. He's been a starter since 2022.
Double pass.
Lockett trying to find Kim and well covered at the 10-yard line. Grayton did not get fooled. He stayed on Kim to knock that away.
Nice job by Grayton in man coverage. They're going to give this little guy the ball, and then Kim's going to sneak out of the backfield here to the sideline. I want you to watch 30 right there. Say, hey, not so fast. Noah Kim tries to go up and high point it. And a good job by Grayton just putting his hands up, saying, not today. I'm not getting mossed by a quarterback.
One of those true freshmen that Brad White was hoping to get into the ball game tonight, and they really like that play from the rookie corner. Stretched out to the sideline, and again, Kentucky gets to the ball carrier, led by Landon Watson. That's a loss of 4. McMillan had nowhere to go on the edge. Third down.
Gotta imagine, obviously, two-down territory, just try to get half of it back. The Eastern Michigan, look, probably not going to win this game, barring a miracle, but there's still situational football that you want to put on tape, and you want to see your guys go out there and execute.
Kim getting heated up, throws it deep, has a receiver, Lockett lost it. Lockett had a step on the defender, but he was turned around, lost sight of the football, and it lands incomplete, and it's fourth down.
Not a bad throw, a double move, a little out and up. by Terry Lockett Jr. Just throws it up, 3rd and 14. You can see right there, just can't find the football. Nice little back shoulder right there on the double move. Looks like they're going to try a field goal, huh?
Yes, they are.
55?
Yeah, this could be a 55-yard attempt for Rudy Kessinger, who's been fantastic tonight. He had a 50-yarder earlier. He has 3 made field goals tonight. Is it long enough? No, not this time. Just a little bit out of his reach for the redshirt freshman.
ESPN College Football is presented by Ice Cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a pepper thing. And in part by McDonald's.
Josh Hines Allen, one of the greatest defensive players in Kentucky history, inducted into the Kentucky Hall of Fame last night. He was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, National Defensive Player of the Year in 2018. Had one of the great seasons in Kentucky history that year. Their all-time sacks leader, now a 2-time Pro Bowler with the Jags.
He's a beast on the Jags. I remember facing him a couple times. Not a fun one to block.
That was going to be a loss, as Kentucky defensive coordinator Brad White was telling us about Josh Hines Allen and his work ethic and how lucky he was to coach that young man.
It's impressive. I mean, one of the greater seasons that we've seen ever out of a Kentucky defender, and now he's just wrecking backfields in the NFL too.
Coley's still in there. And another penalty here.
Start, offense number 73. 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
So Mark Stoops keeping Cutter Boley in the ball game. They have scored on their last 3 possessions, but that last drive was not operationally sound, and they had to settle for a field goal again. And here's another penalty, getting them backed up.
You got to imagine that's why he's still in the football game, to try and get them to understand these situations, right? They're up big, I get it, but you still want to run the offense. You want to get them as many live reps as possible.
Boley rolling. Throwing on the run, and is that going to be complete? That is a catch for Jason Patterson, who's put in some good work here in the second half.
Really nice catch there by Patterson. He had 111 yards rushing last year. They really liked him, a redshirt freshman. They put the red shirt on him, making his name known a little bit right here.
Yeah, he hadn't had a touch before tonight. That was a 9-yard reception to make it 3rd down and 9. Kentucky tonight 3 of 8 on 3rd down. Boley looking for help. He's going to get hit at the 40 and dumped. Won't get the 1st down, but there is a marker in the secondary as this game is really getting sloppy now.
Holding defense number 1. 10-yard penalty into the run. Includes an automatic 1st down.
So that'll move the chains for Kentucky. Joshua Scott out on the perimeter with the hold.
And I know they're trying to get Boley some reps, right? But 3rd down, you go out there, scramble, take a huge hit. I mean, the gauntlet of SEC play coming up. If you're going to stay in the football game, don't take any hits. You finally found a quarterback you like, showed a little bit of promise. Don't take unnecessary hits like that.
They run it with Patterson, and he'll plow inside the 45 on 1st down. Yeah, Bo Allen is the backup, a 6th-year veteran who came to Kentucky as a true freshman in 2020, but at the FBS level has not played a lot of football. In fact, he hasn't thrown a pass in a college football game since 2022, and he was at Tarleton State. I'm sure he would like to get into this ball game at some point. As Patterson moves the pile close to the 1st down marker, stopped just short of the 40, a gain of 3.
Yeah, they really like Bo Allen. Coaches are talking to us in the production meeting, saying, hey, he can go in, he can get completions. I actually talked to him down on the field. He was excited to dress out, to be the backup quarterback, hopeful to get in, really smart, instinctual. And just going back to Boley, right? These reps, even though they might not mean a lot to the crowd or to the other team, they mean a lot to him, right? Because you're in 3rd and 1, you're in these situations, you're at 2 minutes into half. All this stuff matters if you're going to be the guy going forward.
Good hips. Just sidestepping tacklers up the middle. Jason Patterson, redshirt freshman out of Sneads, Florida. 5'10", 209 pounds. Give him 10 and a first down.
For Kentucky, right? 9 different starting quarterbacks in 9 years. And Cutter Boley is a young guy, right? If he's the future of the program, something you can sell the recruits on. Big arm, tall, athletic. Told us in the production meeting he emulates his game after Justin Herbert and Josh Allen.
That's a catch. Gilmore, first down inside the 15. So his brother Jackson played tight end at Wyoming. That's where he was exposed to Josh Allen, met him personally. His sister Erin, basketball player at Oregon. That's where he got to really study Justin Herbert's game. And you know, he certainly kind of physically looks like those two guys.
Yeah, when he came in the meeting, I played with Justin Herbert for 2 years. And I'm like, man, physically imposing, 6'5", 220, actually has the same haircut as Justin Herbert. I had to do a double take, but just a really impressive guy. And there's Erin Boley, Cutter's sister. I mean, just a family of athletes. He's the Oregon forward from 2018 to 2021, and this young man, he's shown a lot tonight. 12 to 21, not super accurate, but he's throwing the football down the field. 240 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Patterson, good cutback. Get back inside that tackle and get it close to the first down marker. It's going to be 3rd and 1, just outside of the 5-yard line. Kentucky would like to get in the end zone one more time before this thing's all said and done.
No doubt. You got to imagine tomorrow in the film room when the offensive staff is meeting with the players offensively that, you know, there's going to be some things to learn from, the communication issues, some of the false starts, but they got to feel really good about what Cutter Boley has put on tape so far.
Patterson making his way to the goal line, and he got in there. Touchdown, Jason Patterson. Cap at a 10-play drive, and Patterson did a lot of the heavy lifting.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4 rushing touchdowns for Kentucky tonight. This is who they are. And Jason Patterson just right up the gut. He's right there, excuse me. You got Law in the background. This is fullback dive they've done a lot of, and spinning, trying to get himself in. Might be, is that his first touchdown, Clay?
First touchdown. He didn't have a carry before tonight.
Let's go, man. Super pumped for that young man. Showing some elusiveness, though.
No, the running game has been good. McGowan goes over 100 yards tonight. He had 3 touchdowns. Patterson, his first touchdown of the year. And 216 yards on the ground for Kentucky. The extra point is good for Jacob Cowboy. 48-16, Kentucky, with Cutter Boley at the controls with a big lead. Scoring-wise, it's been a consistent night for Kentucky. Time for our Fansville College Football Update, brought to you by Dr. Pepper. And we talked about Georgia, Tennessee, and what a great game that was as the Dogs win it in overtime. Gunnar Stockton, his arm finally woke up. Miami defeating USF. The Bulls kind of running out of magic, it seems like, at least for tonight. And then how about this one in South Bend? Tied at 31 heading to the 4th between A&M and the Irish.
Big game. Miami and Carson Beck, man, they look good. Heisman Trophy finalists, in my opinion, right now. I know it's early in the season, but A&M and Notre Dame, it's big boy football down there.
Eastern Michigan's quarterback Kim, a career high 292 yards. He is 1 yard shy of that. He's actually had a pretty good night for Eastern Michigan, but they're going to lose their 8th in a row going back to last year are the Eagles. Meanwhile, Kentucky, there are certainly some things they can build on after tonight.
Gotta love their red zone defense. Didn't allow a touchdown, only 2 field goals. For the most part, what we saw, tackling was pretty good. Obviously, the takeaway.
Dunlap, good run. That'll be a first down for, check that, McMillan. Dante McMillan gets 14. About Chris Creighton, they're going to continue to fight. He says, we're no cake eaters. We're a blue-collar program. We're going to recruit blue-collar kids that are going to work hard. And they're going to be scrappy in the MAC again this year. Toledo, who Kentucky played week 1, they're the favorites to win the league this year. And that's going to be a couple of yards shy of the stick. Jamarian Wheeler hauls it in. Graduate from Minneapolis.
When you have a quarterback in Noah Kim, you're always going to have a chance. Thought he's played exceptional tonight. Just got to fix that defense. They gave up 606 total yards at Texas State in week 1. Giving up a 456 right here to Kentucky. Just got to outscore people.
High snap from Gallegos, who's now in its center, but Kim handles it, gets the first down. Completion to Wheeler. 6 bowl appearances in the last 10 years for Eastern Michigan. Just missed last year, but it's been a good run for Creighton in Ypsilanti, his 12th year as head coach.
Yeah, I was just about to say 12 years anywhere nowadays as a head coach, you're doing something right.
Kim going to the sideline, and that was a good pass, but right through the hands of Wheeler, couldn't haul it in. Mike Piatkowski, who's the offensive coordinator for the Eagles, was Creighton's record-setting quarterback at Drake. As there's a man down for Kentucky. Looks like Terion Nichols, cornerback. Oh, it's actually great. There's Pike, Mike Piatkowski. And he's a smart, young offensive coordinator. And you can see with Noah Kim, he's going to have something to work with this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're an explosive offense. I mean, they have a lot of plays, a lot of explosive plays through the pass game. Got to find the run game a little bit. Dante McMillan, Dunlap. Right? They're ready to go right now. Kentucky's not even moving. But they got a good receiver in Terry Lockett Jr., right? Like, if you got a good receiver, you get a good quarterback, you got a chance. I mean, it's the defense, really.
Well, and this was a game until they went for that fake punt.
Yep.
4th and 7 at their own 27, and it got stopped. Caught on the outside. Hauled in by Antonio Floyd, the redshirt freshman from Atlanta, with his first touch. That's a gain of 7, so the 3rd down. As we're under 3 minutes to go. Kim backpedaling. Open receiver. That's going to be a first down inside the 25. Down to the 21. Ben Prosper. 14 more for Prosper, who has made a couple of catches tonight. That's his 3rd. And now flags. Another false start.
Snap infraction, offense number 65. 5-yard penalty, it remains first down.
Mentioned it before that Nicholas Gallegos is doing the snapping now.
Going back to this Kentucky defense, right? with the brutal stretch. You got out at South Carolina, at Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, Auburn. They really got to play well for Kentucky to have a chance in the SEC this year, right? They got a run game. They got everything going for them. Their defense has to be the one who really steps up.
2-minute timeout. Final 2 minutes here in Lexington, Kentucky. Ready to go back over 500. So out of the timeout, first down. First down at 15 for Eastern Michigan. Now keep it on the ground with McMillan. So you talked about Kentucky's schedule. And they're going to have the bye next week, then a trip to Columbia, South Carolina for their first SEC road game of the year. And it'll be interesting to see whether Lenore Sellers is a part of the equation for that Kentucky defense. The quarterback for South Carolina knocked out of the game tonight against Vanderbilt, and it looks like South Carolina is going to be upset. Bouncing to the outside, looking for that first down. He's got it and more. And almost got it into the end zone. That's a gain of 10 for McMillan. Yeah. So you see Sellers tonight against Vandy. He was knocked out early.
Yeah, not good, right? On the short list for the Heisman Trophy. Just an elite college quarterback who will play pro one day. Just the health issues, right? Back-to-back years now. And without Sellers, man, South Carolina getting pummeled by Vandy.
And Vandy's leading that one 31-7 late in the fourth quarter. Diego Pavia, the quarterback for the Commodores, has been outstanding. Kim to the end zone, incomplete. So after South Carolina, they're going to have more top 25 opponents, including Georgia. They have to go to Athens for that one, October the 4th. Then Texas, Tennessee, and Auburn, 3 games in a row that are no pieces of cake.
Young quarterback, Boley's going to get tested. And that's why I'm saying this defense, you got to be able to lean on them. You got to be able to lean on the run game.
Second and goal up the middle with the run. And they'll get it to the 5-yard line with McMillan.
But you see nowadays in college, right, it's all about offense. You got to have an offense to put up points. You got to have a passing game. The receivers, you know, we didn't really see any receivers step up today for Kentucky. And, you know, sort of unproven going into next week's game.
Kim, plenty of time. 11th play of the drive, incomplete. And it's 4th down. Well, there's Boley. Career night for him. Of course, being a redshirt freshman, you know, he hasn't had a lot of experience, so you thought if he had a pretty good night tonight, it would be a career night. It has been. Found his tight ends a lot, yeah, especially in the red zone.
Yeah, safety valve for him and his tight ends, and it'll be a big test for him going on the road for the first time as a starter at South Carolina.
Probably the last play of the night if they don't get in for Eastern Michigan. Kim is going to take it himself, and he's going to get in for a touchdown. Noah Kim. And a rushing touchdown to his pretty good night statistically.
Nice job. Sprint out to your left. You're trying to shovel it to the running back right there, and he said, hey, I'm going to take it in myself. I've been really impressed with him as a quarterback, both running and throwing the football. Coach said they wanted to see him run the football more. He's dangerous as a runner, and he's proven that tonight.
The Eagles' first rushing touchdown of the evening. But the night has belonged to Cutter Boley, his second career start. Zach Calzada, who started the year as a starting quarterback, out of this game because of an injury. giving Cutter an opportunity, and the Hodgenville, Kentucky native has lived up to some of the expectations.
Yeah, he's been aggressive all night, throwing the football down the field. The completion percentage isn't exactly where you want, but he delivered multiple touchdown passes in the red zone, the first 2 and 3 of really Kentucky's season. We see there 240 passing yards on only 12 completions. So, you know, the coaches told us, hey, we need to push the ball down the field. We need to be a little bit more aggressive with play calling. We're going to take the motions off, all that stuff. And you see right there Zach Calzada being a good teammate, man. They have a good relationship. They work well together. Look at this stat. Held under 400 yards of total offense in 9 straight games. He was entering tonight, and tonight 456 with a new quarterback, Clay.
Yeah, you said this offense looks different before halftime, and I would agree with you. It had some spark tonight, a little something different.
And it's a part in play calling, trusting the young quarterback to throw the football down the field, and then also the quarterback to actually pull the trigger when maybe something isn't open down the field as well. So they work pretty well together. Still a little bit of those operational issues they'll get, ironed out in practice next week, and that's what a lot of people don't understand about a backup, right? You don't get a lot of reps with the ones in practice. Now Cutter will have back-to-back weeks with the ones in practice, running the scheme, running the tempo offense, running the 2-minute offense. So the more practice, the more live reps you can do and face, even if it's in practice, because they do go good on good, it's just helpful.
Well, speaking of backup quarterbacks, Bo Allen, a 6th-year veteran. His dad, Bill, played quarterback here in the mid-'80s. He's going to hand off to Jason Patterson, who rips off another big run. And finally gets brought down in enemy territory at the 46-yard line.
They're trying to get to 500 yards.
He rips off 29.
He's looked good tonight.
He's going to be another option in that backfield. It's already pretty talented. So Bo Allen, very smart. They like him. Just hasn't had a lot of big boy reps in the Power 4. That might do it. Another run for Patterson. 48-23, Kentucky got up early. First play from scrimmage tonight. Noah Kim, who otherwise played pretty well at quarterback for Eastern Michigan, had a ball tipped. It was intercepted by Davron Rayner, and it was pretty much all Kentucky from that point on. And a good night for the redshirt freshman Cutter Boley, the Kentucky native. I think answered some questions tonight for these Wildcat fans.
Yeah, they wanted to see how he would do when the pressure was on in a real game, and he's delivered tonight. Look at this 19th straight win versus a MAC opponent, but the real season, the real schedule starts now. You're going to learn a lot about the young man as they go on the road in back-to-back weeks at South Carolina and at Georgia. Texas visits Tennessee. I mean, the schedule gets going.
Kentucky 2-1. And an 8th straight loss for the Eagles of Eastern Michigan, now 0-3 on the year. Cutter Boley and the Wildcats going into the bye week. They'll be at South Carolina in 2 weeks, and that 7th hardest schedule in the country. It'll be a daunting one as the season wears on for the team in blue. For Chase Daniel and our entire crew, I'm Clay Matvick saying so long from Lexington. 48-23, the Wildcats win it here at home.